Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press on December 2nd, 2020. And notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building and the borough website. This meeting is being brought to you through Zoom. It will run just like any other regular council meeting. Our multimedia director will be the Zoom administrator throughout the meeting. You will still be able to comment during the public comment sessions. When the time comes, you will click the raise hand button or dial *9 if you are present by phone. And then our multimedia director will unmute each person one at a time so you may speak. Thank you.
Thank you, April. If everybody could join me in saluting the flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody could just remain for a moment of silence for our troops, their families, our first responders, and everyone dealing with this pandemic. Thank you. One of the first things I want to bring up in workshop is we have one of our residents, Harry Tehan, is turning 100 today. So we want to wish him a happy birthday. He was a World War II vet in the Battle of the Bulge, and he walks the boardwalk all the time. So you know, we want to wish him the best. 100 years old. That's really something in today's day and age. But we want to wish him a happy birthday. All right, on workshop tonight. You know, after the last meeting, we had a lot of discussion about the summer programs, the summer recreation programs. So I had a chance to talk with our recreation director, Barry Trudeau, and asked him to take a look at what's in place that the governor has put in place and how we could put our programs in place safely. Ryan D'Elia, fire administrator, helped making sure we went through the guidelines, and I'm going to turn it over to Barry. He's done a lot of work researching everything, and he thinks that with everything that the governor has put out in Executive Order 149, we can run some of our programs. Some of them won't be run the exact same way as they have in the past, but I'm going to turn it over to Barry. He's done a lot of work in the past 2 weeks, and Barry, if our recreation director, if you could give us an update.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, residents of Belmar. Oh, you hear me, guys? All right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, going over Executive Order 149. Ryan, our fire marshal, has helped me, and we wrote a bunch of protocols and the stuff that we have to do. A lot of procedures. You know, there's a screening and admittance procedure. With that, you know, we'll be doing temperature checks with all counselors and staff that arrive to summer camp. Group size and social distancing. I know that the state has recommended that there was no limit for outside, but as of right now, we're going to be doing a 10 to 1, 10 campers to 1 counselor. Sorry, a little nervous. Let's see. We're going to limit our activities. We're still going to try to utilize the beach playgrounds, different parks throughout the town. Even try to utilize a miniature golf program that is down by the marina. Our drop off and pickup policies. We're going to have staggered times for drop off and pickup, and also at different locations throughout the pavilion area. The reason why we're doing that is to limit the overcrowding, and also makes it easier, you know, with with screening the children coming in. Our visitor policy, no, it's gonna be very limited. No outside visitors, except for law enforcement or emergency personnel acting in that capacity. We'll be promoting the hygiene practices, educating the campers about hand washing, utilizing the hand sanitizer. And just make sure that they're not touching their face, nose, eyes, and all that. Okay. Our staffing campers, we will have a health director. That health director will be certified in adult, child, and infant CPR along with first aid, and have all the knowledge of the CDC and New Jersey Department of Health guidelines. Our counselors will also go through a CPR and first aid program also, which is required even before the pandemic hit us. Our biggest challenge is going to be, with the children wearing the face masks. That's going to go for the counselors too. At all times, a face mask or face covering has to be worn unless we go in the ocean, or if social distancing can be instituted. Now, in case if there is a positive, with our camp, in case there is a positive, exposure, we have a policy or a procedure in place for that. We have to notify the county health department along with the youth camp project, which is a state project. An outdoor camp, like I said, we're going to be most of our camp, if not all of it, will be outside. So we'll utilize the beach. We utilize the beach parks and the different parks surrounding the area. And with the policies, that is all I have on the policies. Were there any questions that you had, Mr. Mayor? Or?
No, I'm mute, sir.
Sorry, okay.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, I have a few questions, but if any of the council members have questions for our rec director before I start.
I have questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Councilman Brennan.
Thank you. Mr. Trogu.
Yep.
The procedure you're describing, because I'm tell you the truth, and you know this already, that's actually is my biggest concern about the children have to have their temperatures taken before they're allowed to come in.
Yes.
And their parent has to be with them until they're cleared to go in.
Yep.
So for parents need to realize it's not going to be the same just drop off and drive away kind of situation as it's been in past years. It's going to be a little more cumbersome, but we're going to be doing it. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Are we
Did you hear me
doing
right,
the
or-
same length of day for all the activities, or are some of them shorter than others than they normally would have been?
Well, right now, the length of camp, like hour-wise, we're still talking about that to see what we're going to do. A lot of the surrounding towns around us, for the few that are right now in the planning stage, are just doing 9 to 12.
Oh,
So we're looking at, maybe a little longer, or maybe coinciding with the Belmar school day.
right. They're 9 to 1.
Yeah,
so
9 to
it
1.
might make it easier.
Yeah, but right now we're still in discussion with that, and also the number of campers. Also, we're still talking about the number of campers that will be allowed at camp. But the one thing is the camp will be strictly for Belmar and Lake Como residents only. In
Right.
the past we have had out of town, but with the pandemic, we want to keep the numbers a little smaller. Our camp will be smaller than in the past
Mhm.
right now, but our priority, it has to be Belmar and Lake Como residents.
Well, I think with pandemic, that actually that makes a lot of sense, because one of the things you're trying to do, as long as we're still worrying about infections, is you want to limit the exposure to people you don't usually see, and keeping it in town really makes it, that's one step in the right direction for that.
Yeah, and another thing too is grouping. We want to keep at least 10 campers to one counselor.
Mhm.
That group will stay together throughout the whole summer. And
Yeah.
same with the counselor. We don't want to intermix groups, then you risk, you risk the spread of COVID. And and any siblings, we will try to keep them in the same group as possible.
All right. My last question, and it's the question I know all the parents are waiting to hear the answer to, which we probably don't have an answer yet, but do you have any idea when we're going to actually be able to let people sign their kids up for these activities?
Well, right now we're still on par. Usually our summer camp doesn't start registration to April.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so right now, but we do have a new registration site called GovPilot, which is still in the working stages for
Right, I know.
recreation.
But-
And I have a meeting this Friday with that, or Thursday, I think it is. And once that's up and running, there will be information sent out to when parents can sign up.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Barry, I have a question.
Yep.
Harry, I'm sorry, I had a momentarily a distraction here. What are we gonna do in case of rain? I don't know if you,
That we're still working out. Like I said, a lot of the camps around us are strictly outside. And if it does rain, they call the parents to have the kids picked up. With us, like I said, we're still working that out because we do have the Taylor Pavilion, but we're not sure if that's going to be utilized for the summer. We will try to get a tent. Well, it is required to have a tent down there, so we will try to get a sizable tent down there. So in case we're caught out in the rain, we can seek shelter. But like I said,
and if it-
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, if it is raining, if the day starts off rain, then will it be canceled for the day?
Well, that part we're still working out the details. If we're gonna go to, if it does rain, there is no camp. That we're still working out, but we'll have an answer shortly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone
I have
else?
a couple of questions.
Yes, go ahead, Councilmember Kraken.
Yeah, thank you very for that very thorough report. Obviously, you and Ryan and the rest of your team have given this a lot of thought. I just have a couple questions. You mentioned 10-to-1 campers to counselor. Do you know what that has been historically for the town in the past?
Yes, it's always been 10-to-1. Our camp has always been maxed out at 100 campers, and we've always had a 10-to-1 ratio. It's a lot easier to control a smaller group, especially when we're at the beach.
Okay.
At least the counselors know, or more focused on a smaller group.
All right, and then I'm just curious whether it's 9-to-12 or 9-to-1, whatever the time is. Generally, is that time structured? Do the counselors organize different activities? I mean, you mentioned a lot of really cool stuff about using Larry Park, where we've got tennis courts and we're going to have pickleball added. Obviously, over there on 16th Avenue, we've just resurfaced the basketball courts, so that's a great recreation area to use. So, I mean, generally though, is that time structured like, this is swim time, this is beach time, this is basketball time, stuff like that?
Yes, like in the past, before COVID, mornings would situate with us breaking the counts, or the campers into a grade level for grades 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. Counselors were assigned. We would go down to the beach to approximately like 11:30, come in for lunch, do arts and crafts after that, or if some kids elected to go back down to the water, and we would do that. We'd also do like beach soccer up on the beach, but then in the hot days, the sand gets too hot, so the kids want to be in the water. Going now this year, Miss Dillon, our summer camp director, she's been hard at work putting together a itinerary, which is going to help focus on the different locations and different games and activities for the kids to do. So the groups are separated and will never ever be mixed in. So we'll have we'll utilize the grass across the street from the Taylor Pavilion, can utilize the 2 different beach parks, take different groups down to there. We may even have be down at McCleary Park with the sailing camp. We're not sure. I know they did pencil us in. We do every year that has happened. We have had they call it like a discovery camp, where the kids go down, they use the paddle boards, the stand-up paddles, the sitting kayaks, get to go on the L Street Beach and utilize the boats. The instructors would show the kids, just like a broken down course, watered down course of sailing. With that, we still plan on doing that. So utilizing the different areas with the smaller groups and doing it that way.
And then just one last comment. I think, and maybe you do this already, so please forgive my naivety if I don't know this, but we've got a lot of really cool things happening in town, and a lot of really awesome volunteer opportunities. And those programs are as only good as the next generation that's coming in. So I see Ryan DeLua on this call and Chief Scott. I think it would be awesome if this program incorporates an overview of what it is to be a volunteer firefighter and how do you become a cadet, an overview of the Police Explorer programs and information about that, an overview about the activities offered at the Belmar Arts Center, what's important about a vibrant downtown Main Street and shopping local, some environmental awareness, I think, would be important. We have a health director this summer, which is awesome. That gives us an opportunity to give some kids some education on health issues and stuff like that. So, one of the things I think we have an opportunity here, particularly since, we're going to have the staggered drop-offs and these groups and, utilizing areas all over town, is there's a real opportunity to do some education and make the kids aware of, all the great things that happen in Belmar. I think there's just a tremendous opportunity here, particularly since the kids are going to be Belmar and Lake Como kids.
Yeah.
Really a really great opportunity. We could do a program on local government. I mean, I'm just, my
Oh, yeah.
that head is spinning of like all the cool
Yeah.
things we could do with these kids, other, in addition to recreation stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just some thoughts I had. If I could be able to assist in any way, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, yeah. So in the past, we've toured the police station. The kids got to see the different, the cells, the police cars, and different equipment. And we've
Yeah.
done the same thing with the fire department, with Union Fire
Cool.
Company, and sometimes with Goodwill. The kids got to tour the firehouse. Because I'm not sure, like with this year, like I said, with the COVID, I'm not sure what we can actually
Yeah.
do about touring these places, but we would definitely look into it. And if I
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just have a
helpful.
ton to be proud of here in Belmar,
Oh, yeah.
and a lot of people who are really involved, and it's a good time to expose those kids to that. So I'm glad you've been thinking along those lines. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, Barry, I just have a couple of questions. Can you just go over the list of programs that you think that we could run safely? I know you touched a lot on the camp.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the summer camp was the big topic. Definitely Belmar Junior Guards, we can definitely run this year. The same with Belmar Junior Guards, that will be limited to just Belmar and Lake Como residents. We just want to keep it small, because that is a program that is on the beach, and we don't know what the situation will be this year with how many people are coming down. That program is usually runs 4 days a week, and that's only a 2-hour program. But I know Erica Cavelli, she does an excellent job down there, and she has a great staff, and a lot of staff, even including my son. He came to the program, was a counselor, and and a lot of counselors that are in the program have come to the program with Erica. Our summer basketball, I know we were in talks, you and I and Mr. Kirschenbaum were in talks, prior in 2020 about what we can do to bring the summer basketball program outside. And, as people can see, the courts are repainted. Our 2 of our backboards were done by our DPW crew that, they do an amazing job. And they're going to plan on doing the other baskets for us so we can utilize the 2 smaller courts outside, which, give the kids an opportunity to play outside under the lights. And we can run 2 games at once, which would be nice. And we can still leave the main court open for our residents to enjoy. We'll also be doing our kids running club. Our kids running club meets twice a week in July and August. That's a small group that gives the kids an opportunity to get ready for the upcoming school season with cross country. And we try to build the kids up to where they can eventually run a 5K. I know we'll be doing our pickup baseball again. Our pickup baseball program, has always been popular. We usually start that program after Little League is over, because a lot of kids, they start getting better just as the season ends. So this is an opportunity, for them to continue playing baseball, gets the dads out there, even some moms, get the dads enjoy, they get to get back out and play baseball. It also gives the kids an opportunity to be like in a less stressed atmosphere, instead of being like in a game time situation. So it's always a learning experience for them, and we teach them with that. There's a few other programs I want to also bring up, or start new this year is the kids kickball. We want to start utilizing that 1 night a week, along with hopefully a little beach soccer program. Me with the little kids go on the beach. I have nets for the kids, go on the beach. And then also there's been interest about adult kickball. So we want to try to get that going up and running 1 night a week to get the adults out there playing kickball. I know as a kid I played it in school, and it was big. We always did class first class growing up, and that's our basically that's our summer programs that we're looking at doing that we can definitely run, because it's all going to be outside. So social distancing will be really wouldn't be a problem with that.
So some of these things we'll have to see how many people sign up for.
Yeah.
And one of them is, didn't you mention the tennis on the?
Yes, been in contact with a tennis instructor who will come out. He can teach a group session up to 6 people at a time. That's the most he can do at once. But we also look out to see maybe if there's other people out there that can do more than one group at a time. So if there is interest in that, definitely, please reach out to recreation@belmar.com to let me know, because that is something that we're looking to move forward in the summer months. I know because the tennis courts are supposed to get resurfaced or at least repainted, and so at least be a nice playing surface for the kids and even the
Yeah.
adults. So
Yeah, which one of these programs have to be approved by the state? Just the camps?
yeah, the summer camp, we have to fill out a license form. That's filled out, that's sent to the state. All the protocols that Ryan helped me with, the state, they will come out, do an inspection to make sure that everything is up to their standards. Make any corrections if we have to. And that's it. Now, the Belmar Junior Guards and all the other programs are going to follow the same COVID, protocol and policies in place. Kids will be temperature checked when they come in. The health screen form will be checked off just to make sure, that we're not allowing anyone in that are showing symptoms, and which is important too. If your child is sick, please keep them home. We don't want to, risk any exposure.
All right, and so you'll have all policies and all our volunteers and our employees will know exactly what to do once we open this up. I mean, the main thing is our employees, volunteers, and of course, the kids that are coming out for all this. We want to make them safe as possible. So
Yes,
whatever steps
definitely.
whatever we got to do to make sure that happens. I know Manasquan had problems last year. Seagirt had problems last year.
Yeah.
So, and the biggest thing is, we want to make sure that everybody is safe. We don't have a crystal ball of what's going to go on this summer. Hopefully the pandemic will be gone and we can just open up. But so as you're doing all this, just make sure that safety is our biggest concern.
Oh, yes, definitely. 'Cause I know, yeah, 'cause as you mentioned with Manasquan and Seagirt, they had to close their camp within the first week because of a high outbreak. And that also affected, I also coached Little League Baseball last year, and 3 games into the season, we had to stop because of the high exposure rate going on in Manasquan.
Okay. All right, good.
Mayor, I
Well,
just have 2 other questions.
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I imagine when you develop these plans, Barry, you and Ryan in your team, they're flexible enough to, adapt for changes. So, I think we're all hoping that as the spring comes and the summer comes, the governor will, release some of the restrictions in the executive order because it's safe to do so. But obviously I totally can concur with the mayor, even though with those restrictions being lifted, we still want to make sure our volunteers and our kids and everything are safe. And just to clarify, you alluded to this, but it's a question I suspect that might come up. You talked about the kids using the equipment for a discovery program from the Friends of Belmar Harbor. And I'm assuming in order to do that, the Friends of Belmar Harbor is also going to be open this summer for their programs, which I think is good. I know they operate good programs over there. I know they're an independent entity. And they, will personally have to make sure that they're operating safely and stuff. But it'll be nice to see the town back to, kind of, the activity that we're using. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a quick question I have. Is the surf camp under the same restrictions as our camp? Our summer camp, as far as getting approval from the state?
Well, the surf camp is not part of the recreation. That is that's a separate entity. That's
But I mean, even though they're a separate
Oh,
entity, they have to get it.
I
And the
believe.
sailing. and
Yeah,
sailing.
Yes, I know the
Okay.
sailing. They had their protocols in place, and I believe they were licensed through the state. I thought I saw them on there. Summertime surf, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it work how that worked, but I'm sure they have COVID protocols in
Because
place.
we're gonna have to take a look at if they're gonna open. We have to make sure that they have everything in place also.
Mayor, they sent me a proposal. I have it. We're reviewing it and making sure that all the guidelines are consistent with state policy and procedures. So
Which one, surf camp or sailing?
the surf camp and the sailing has also sent me proposal that we have to review.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for Barry? He's going to be here till public comment, so if the public has any questions for him, we'll keep him here. All right. Moving on, I guess we'll go to the beach playgrounds. We've chosen a company that has the pirate ships. We were able to work a couple companies against each other and get them down to about 45,000 apiece. These are pirate ships that are not made out of concrete. They're made out of materials that will last down the beach. Some composite, some aluminum, powder coated aluminum, and a lot of plastic. So they look like that they'll last a lot longer than the concrete pirate ships. So we'll be getting them hopefully before summer. We did have a little video for them, but I think the council members got it, but I don't know if we can play it up here tonight. So we should have them in place before summer. And April, you want to take the library programs? While we're on workshop. All right, anybody have any questions about the pirate ships? Move on to the library programs.
Okay, the library just wanted us to announce that they have a new program available for those with visual and print impairments. They have teamed up with the state and national libraries to offer free digital talking book players with free audiobooks, audio magazines. They also have Braille books and publications, and a mobile app for smartphones and tablets. It's an application process. You just contact the library, fill out an application, and then you get the free digital book player or the Braille books, depending on what you need. And that was it. The rest is their usual curbside pickup is still ongoing, and is as well as the interlibrary book loan program.
Administrator, you want to just, since we're on library, just talk about the reopening or what we're going to do with, if we're going to start reopening the library?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've been working with the library, surveying libraries throughout Monmouth and Ocean County. Ro Korbeliuk has sent me a plan for reentry into post-COVID situation. We're in phase 3 right now. We're going to remain in phase 3 for a while. The only thing that impedes is that people can't browse the books inside the library, and some libraries that are open only allow 15 minutes of time inside the library. To keep our staff safe and our residents and our visitors safe, we're going to stay in phase 3. I'm going to be reviewing more with Ro this week, but we have a full process on how we're going to integrate into getting back into the swing of things once restrictions loosen up. The other thing is the libraries that are open, they're not allowing any computer work because of the nature of touching equipment inside the library and possibly causing a contact for COVID. So, like I said, the libraries have an excellent grasp on what they're doing, and they've expanded all their services and will continue to do so. We might expand some of our services for the outside situation on how they're operating. So that's moving forward.
I muted you, so you got to unmute yourself. Good, sorry, had feedback. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks for muting me, John. Okay. Just a couple things on the resolutions. I know normally we have a big ceremony for when we're hiring 2 new police officers, but I'm going to ask our chief, we have on the resolution tonight to put on 2 police officers that we have vacancies for. So Chief, if you could.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, Mayor, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's okay.
So we are able to hire, we had 2 vacancies with the police department, so we filling those with 2 of our class 2 officers that actually have worked for us for the past about 5 years. So I have a little bio on each of them that I just want to read to you. Derek Fabian is one of the officers who's currently assigned as the school security officer at Belmar Elementary. Derek Fabian is the 3rd of 4 brothers raised in Chatham, New Jersey by his mother and father before his family moved to Seagirt in 2010. Derek attended High Point University in North Carolina, where he graduated in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in political science. In 2015, Derek was hired as a Class 1 Special Law Enforcement Officer for the Belmar Police Department and continued on to a Class 2 Special Law Enforcement Officer position in 2016. He attended and graduated the Monmouth County Police Academy for both positions. Derek has continued as a Class 2 Special Law Enforcement Officer for Belmar, and in 2018, he was assigned as the School Security Officer for the Belmar Elementary School, where he has come to know and love the students and families alike. Derek has recently been engaged to his fiancee, Danielle Orlando. The second officer that's going to be hired is David Burke. David Burke is a middle child of an older brother and younger sister raised in Holmdel, New Jersey by his mother and father. David attended Moravian College in Pennsylvania, where he graduated in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in sociology. In 2016, David graduated from the Monmouth County Police Academy as a Class 2 Special Law Enforcement Officer for Belmar. David has continued as a Class 2 Special Law Enforcement Officer for Belmar, and in 2020, he was assigned as a School Security Officer for St. Rose Grammar and St. Rose High School, as he also has come to know and love the students and families. Both Derek and David have completed all the testing and background investigation requirements to become a full-time patrolman with the Belmar Police Department. They both have been an asset to the Belmar Police Department and have done a great job in the past 5 years that they have been here. Derek and David are a great addition to the department, and we all look forward to working with them. As being their supervisor for basically the entire time that they've been with the Belmar Police Department, we could not have found 2 better officers to add to the department. They work well with our full-time officers, and I'm looking forward to working with them.
Thank you, Chief. Yeah, they're going to be great hires, and we're looking forward to them coming on board. Well, I have you. I know we have one of the new electronic speed signs that was put up on 16th Avenue. Maybe you could just give us a little detail on that.
Absolutely. Back in December, we were able to purchase a mobile speed sign that we can put on any kind of pole throughout the town and move it around. We just put it out today on 16th Avenue for the westbound traffic. We're testing it out. There was a little training that was involved. Our traffic unit sat through the training. What's nice about this piece of equipment, it is cloud-based, so it actually collects data. So we'll be able to collect the data of the cars traveling right now on 16th Avenue to see if we can, pinpoint a time of day where the traffic is, where we should be sitting there watching it more, I guess I could say. And we'll be able to move it around town when we get complaints, say on 5th Avenue or, 8th Avenue, we can move it to that street, for a week or so. It is battery based, so it's good for about 7 days, and then we have to recharge the battery and put it back up. But it's a good tool for us, especially with the complaints that we get for speeding in town. So we can put it up, collect the data, and try to pinpoint where the troubled times of the days are, and try to enforce speeding in town better.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Should be a great piece of equipment for us, that's for sure.
I had one question, Chief, if you don't mind. So 16th Avenue is a county road. We don't need to ask their permission to put the sign up. We can just do it.
No, we have permissions to put the signs up. What we don't have permission to do is, I know there's been a couple requests for speed bumps and rumble strips and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the county will not allow us to do that, but we do have permission to utilize signs on that street.
Very good.
And we will be purchasing, hopefully this year, once the budget is set, purchasing 1 or 2 more. And I'm also looking into a grant, a traffic grant that just came out to maybe, take care of some of the funds for those.
Thank you. That's
You're
excellent.
Perfect. Thanks, Chief. Anybody else have a question for the chief? Okay, great. We're just gonna, April found the video for the beach playground, so it's just a few minutes. April, if you want to just play that for the council members. Perfect. Thank you. We have on the resolution tonight for the paid parking areas for this summer. We just have to make an adjustment. We're gonna have to make an amendment to the one because it didn't include, we're changing the east side of Ocean Avenue from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's gonna be for all of Ocean Avenue. And it's going on the angle spaces around Silver Lake and on the south side of North Boulevard to B Street this year. The reason why that we're expanding it a little bit is these pop-up car shows that come into town. It's going to give the police department a little bit more area to police them, and when they're parking in these spaces and not paying, hopefully we can move them out of town a little bit faster. Knowing that we have paid parking there, hopefully they'll choose another town to go to that doesn't have paid parking. So we're putting that in place. The only thing is that on this resolution tonight, it didn't include changing the times along the whole east side of Ocean Avenue. So the east side of Ocean Avenue is going to be all the same as it's going to be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So we're just going to make that adjustment. And it's on the resolution calendar. Oh, Chief, you want to just talk about the snow removal that we're changing on the first reading of the one ordinance and the reason why we need that?
Yes, after this last snowstorm, there was a lot of confusion on the, where people could park. We would put out the code reds and say, you need to remove your vehicles from the roadways, but some people don't have driveways and they had nowhere to go. So, we were telling people that live on the 100 block of 16th Avenue that they had to park the car in Dempsey Park. I didn't think that was fair, so I reviewed the old ordinance, and the way that the old ordinance reads is that you flip-flop the sides of the street. So you would be on the even side of the street when it's snowing. Once it stopped snowing and the roads were clear on the odd side of the street, you would move your vehicle to that side of the street. I think it's a better way to deal with it. We were out there, there was cars left on the streets for days that were just completely covered in snow, and it was making it hard for DPW to do snow removal. And I think doing it this way, it gives everybody an opportunity that doesn't have driveways to be able to park where they live, but move their car and keep the, be able for DPW to clear the roads more safely and efficiently.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think it would work a little bit better. Yes.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? I agree
Sure.
with you. Alternate side of the street parking seems to make sense to me. I was just wondering, Chief, if you knew why the ordinance was changed. If we
I
had it that
don't
way,
know why. I don't know why it was changed.
Okay, yeah, just curious. I mean, yeah, because we do have people that don't have off-street parking.
Mhm.
And we don't want to create hardships for these folks. I mean, if there's another way we can do it that's more convenient, and perfectly, it makes perfect sense to me. But
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
just curious if historically anybody knew why it may have been changed the other way. But
No,
thank
I
you.
do not. And hopefully, knock on wood, we don't get any more snow this year. Moving forward, when we do put out a code red, if we have to put one out for snow this year, I will make sure that it's in there, explaining to park on the even side of the street and then move over so that everybody knows.
Yes, Pat.
Here comes.
Just have to unmute, Pat.
You should do it. This should be a button. Yep, you got it. There you go.
Okay, Pat, go ahead.
Thanks. I have a question. One of the problems, not everybody is on the code red, especially when we have winter rentals. They're not on the code red, and why they don't know to take their cars off the street. Can we do something having to do with the realtors who rent these houses in the winter to make sure that when they do, they tell these tenants they have to be off the street? Give them the code, let them sign up for code red, but they must be off the street when it snows, because we had the last snowstorm. A lot of people didn't move. They just stayed, and it was a problem.
I can talk to code enforcement and maybe put that in, the contracts and the COs that they sign when they come to get the COs for the winter rentals. Sorry.
That would be a big help. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, I think that's all we have for workshop. So April, I guess we're going to move on to petitions.
Yes, I received a petition that's signed by Belmar Lake Como parents. And it's a petition to bring back the Belmar Summer Camp and Junior Guards for 2021.
Approval of minutes.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 16th meeting?
Motion.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports of council. Councilmember Cracken.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The Belmar Housing Authority had its monthly meeting last night. The executive director, Paul DeSantis, recognized the work of the folks in DPW. He said that the DPW staff have done an excellent job in clearing the snow, clearing the walks, clearing the parking lot, and going above and beyond to make sure that property was clear and safe for residents and safe for emergency vehicles and others to get in should that be needed. So that's Paul DeSantis, who wanted to make sure that the DPW was recognized for their efforts. There is one empty unit that will be filled this month. And that unit was from longtime Belmar resident Robbie Roper, who passed away. We keep obviously him and his family in our prayers. They're a dedicated family who've given a lot to Belmar over the years, and we're certainly very grateful for that. Great news. A determination was made by the Department of Housing and Urban Development that capital funds can be used to put Wi-Fi in the building, throughout the building, so that all residents will have access to Wi-Fi. And there's money in the capital fund to do that, and that will be installed, which is wonderful news for the residents. Also, the board is, the commissioners are starting to have a discussion regarding funding for the housing authority. There's some different HUD programs now that we're going to be looking into that will allow the housing authority to have an opportunity to recapitalize its aging property and potentially add more affordable housing units for seniors in Belmar. We want our seniors to stay in town, and many of them are looking to downsize, and this would be a great opportunity for them. So this is a project that's just getting off the ground, looking for more opportunities to recapitalize the project and use that money to maybe add some units, or certainly do improvements to the building that we have now. I think what's important to be said is it will not have a rate increase for the residents. The new funding programs hold the income requirement for residents at their current levels. So that's a really nice thing. So good productive meeting at the Housing Authority last night, and good things are happening over there. The Shade Tree Commission, as everyone knows, meets the third Wednesday of the month, and that meeting, using social distancing and obviously all the protocols that we know to use now to keep safe, will not be held virtually. That will be held in the municipal building this month. Lastly, Mayor, and maybe hope I'm not stealing your thunder here, you're going to cover this on your reports, but I think it's just worthy mentioning, that the Office of Emergency Management last year worked very hard to put a plan together to keep our residents and our visitors who are going to the beach safe. That plan was submitted to the Murphy administration, and the administration approved it. And in fact, Governor Murphy even recognized the plan that Belmar had put together publicly at a meeting. We did have one weekend where it became apparent that the plan needed a revision. We always knew it was a working document, a living document that that may need to be revised, and the Office of Emergency Management went into action quickly and revised the plans and reduced the numbers of beachgoers. That being said, our beach revenues last year outperformed the region from Southern Ocean County to Northern Monmouth County. And that is enabling us tonight to do things at no cost to the taxpayers, like improve the playground and replace the decaying pirate ships that so many kids had enjoyed being there, replace 2 bathrooms that are decaying and have rotting floors in them, which we're putting in a resolution tonight, adding additional beach mats so that our beach is more accessible to those who are disabled or have a limited mobility, replace trash cans on the beach up and down so that we have obviously proper containers for folks to discard their trash. And lastly, keep up with the fact that every year on January 1st for the next several years, the minimum wage is increasing. So that was a law that was passed by the legislature and signed by the governor. And it's reality that municipalities have to deal with, increasing, having the revenue to increase to pay these increased wages for lifeguards, gate attendants, janitors, and all those types of folks that work on the beach. So we had a great year last year. And because of that, and because of the fact that we were able to outperform other towns, we're able to pay our staff more, and we're able to make really nice public improvements at no cost to the taxpayers, like we're approving here this evening. And I think that's an accomplishment for everybody who was involved. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Brennan.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's wonderful news. Wonderful news, Councilman McCracken. Really, so far this meeting is nothing but good news. It's great. I love this. The Harbor Commission and the Environmental Commission meet next week. They meet the second Tuesday and the second Thursday of the month. So I don't have any commission reports or anything like that. but I do have, I'm sure a lot of people have already seen the news. The president has announced that the federal government has purchased enough vaccines so that 300 million Americans can be vaccinated by the end of May, which is absolutely amazing. And if it really even get close to that, it's going to be amazing. So again, if you get the chance, teachers can get their vaccination starting on the 15th. I think that's very important, very, very important. So our schools can reopen fully. I give the Belmar Elementary School a lot of credit. I know about what they're doing over there. They're getting through, but what they really want is to have school be normal. And I think this will move it a lot closer to that. And one last thing, if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, I love Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. I've always loved her, and I loved her even more after I visited Nashville. But now I love her the best because if you haven't seen it, she got her shot today, and she made a video, and she sung "Vaccine, Vaccine, Vaccine." And she's made up a whole song. It was great. So hopefully that moves anybody who's hesitant, about getting the vaccine. Go get the shots. It's making a big difference. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. Council President Juan.
Thank you, Mayor. It was a wonderful report that Councilman McCracken gave us. Very encouraging. And I'm sure this year is going to give us extra money for next year. It looks like it's going to be a banner summer again. We had our ADA meeting last Thursday, and we're finished. We had composed a letter to send out to all the businesses, restaurants in town, and we will continue to work on the welcome basket. We've had a lot of new people move into town, and we're putting together these baskets, which will talk all about our town, everything we offer, all our services, all about the businesses and restaurants and everybody in town. I think this is a nice start for new people to know about the town and to help our businesses. On a kind of, I don't want to say this, but I am. We had our meeting Thursday and we were hacked, and it was really upsetting, very upsetting. And I just wanted anybody out there, if you think you're going to do it, don't give it a try, because the meeting was recorded. We have the names, and it's been turned over to the police. It was pretty nasty. So don't think about hacking our meetings. Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple things. I was supposed to bring up Ryan D'Elia just to give us a brief overview of what's going on with First Aid at Workshop. We've been working really hard. We're taking 2 paths. We know we haven't got the bids back yet, but we're working towards that direction, and we're also working towards the direction of taking it on ourselves. So whatever works out best for us. And I just want to give Ryan a few minutes just to give us an update on that. I'm going to give him the rest of my report. So go ahead, Ryan.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for having me tonight. So we've been working on a contingency plan for the EMS program. That's Chief Scott and Borough Administrator Kirschenbaum, and we have a whole big working team on this. What we're moving towards is obtaining EMS licensing from the state of New Jersey that allows us to bill. We're working on all our logistics right now for having that all in place by April 1st. Right now, what we're also going to do is we're looking to get information back so we're able to tell who is a member or would like to be a member within our agency. So that information is going to be available within the next day through our website, and we'll be reaching out to all those people. We have worked with the current EMS staff, and we're looking to take them on as employees. And that's where we stand with that right now. Chief Scott, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
All right, I think you pretty much covered it all. I think everybody on this panel can agree. The main priority is EMS services for the town, and that doesn't stop come April 1st. The borough administrator, the mayor, Ryan, we've all been working very hard to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I think we have a good plan in place moving forward, depending on with the RFPs and everything like that.
Okay, thank you, guys. Yes, they've been working hard, the chief, the business administrator, Ryan Dalia, to make sure that this is going to be put in place and ready to go for April 1st. So good job, you guys. The only other thing is I want to thank DPW. They got a couple more awnings up down the marina. They're working to get that done before summer. And if you notice, all the equipment on the beach, because I think this year, correct me if I'm wrong, Business Administrator Kirschenbaum, the state has said that all the sand has to be moved before March 15th. All the machines have to be off the beach by March 15th. So
That's correct.
they're working hard to get all the beach ready. Used to be that they were allowed to stay on a lot longer than that, but so we're notified that they have to get all that sand moved and straightened out and cleared up from the winter. So they're down there. You see a lot of equipment on the beach. They're trying to get that done before March 15th. So they're doing a good job down there. They did a good job with the snow. Hopefully, like the chief said, we don't have any more. I'm not looking forward to any more, but so that's all I really have. We're going to move on to public session on any of the resolution items. I know people have their hands up, but this is just remember, this is for any of the resolution items.
Please remember to state your name and address before you speak also. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going through my list. I have people that had their hands up already. We're going to first, stand by. Maria, coming to you. One moment. There we go.
This is Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Maria.
Am I allowed to comment on the workshop as well?
That's for public comment at the end.
Okay. All right, then I will save my comment. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. One moment. Okay, coming to Caitlin, one moment.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead, Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Aiden. Thank you for letting me have summer camp.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
We're coming up to bedtime, but I just wanted to jump on and say thank you guys. This has been a great meeting. I had some really great conversations with Ed over the week. We're looking forward to continuing the conversation. Hopefully, you know, Councilman Brennan, you brought up the vaccinations, and we are really excited.
I know that you want to put the kids to bed, but this is just for the resolution items, and I got to try to keep the meeting moving along. So if you'd like to comment at the public session at the end, you're welcome to it. But we thank you for your comments.
Okay. One moment. Okay, going to NA, standby. Okay, standby. Oh, hold on, I took her as video because this is slow. Standby, sorry. Oh, okay, should be there. Hello. There we go. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm sorry. My comment was also for the public session, so I'll come back on later.
Okay.
Okay, if everyone can, if they're waiting for a public session, you can lower your hands and I'll get you later, but I'll keep going through. Stand by. Gerald, here we come.
Jerry Buckafusco, 409 Fifth Avenue. I just have a question on 3 of the resolutions. 2021-69, the EMS billing and collections, is that to go along with the EMS proposal, or is that to be part of or contingent with the new division of emergency medical services?
That would be, Ryan, you want to answer that?
Yes, sir. So that would be with the new emergency medical services. Due to our time lapse or what we need to do to get our plans in place, we do need to have that as an option if the RFPs do not come back.
Okay, and do you know when that might be put out to advertise?
April?
It'll be advertised this week.
Okay, thanks. Moving on to 2021-73, the temporary budget. I just wondered if someone could give us a little insight as to the funds that are being utilized in the first aid accounts in the current fund and also the beach utility. In the current fund, there's a 36,000 for salary and wages and 21,000 for other expenses and 99,000 for capital improvements. What is that to be spent on?
Ryan, that's that one is in there for first aid rigs and to get started up. Yes, that's.
Yeah, that's our startup expenses.
Yeah, if the bids don't come in at the right prices, we had to put that in there just so that we have to buy a couple rigs and get the startup costs.
And I have a similar question for the beach utility. There's 24,000 in salary and wages, 14 in other expense, and another 66,000 in capital improvement first aid. What is that utilized for?
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Okay, and the capital outlay of $400,000. What's that being budgeted for?
I don't have it in front of me. Do you have that, Administrator?
Where are you talking about?
Beach utility account 21-093, capital outlay $400,000.
That for the bathrooms? Yeah, that's for the bathrooms.
Okay. And then finally, this is just a minor point, but it's a major point. 2021-75, resolution for providing for the transfer of surplus funds. The wrong statute is quoted, as it says in the first paragraph. This provides for the transfer of surplus funds from one account to another during the last 2 months of the calendar year. We're in the first 3 months of the calendar year. So that's the incorrect statute for that resolution. That's all I have right now.
Okay. We'll take a look at that.
Okay, thank you. And coming to Sherry, one moment.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Sherry Russo, 1218 Briarwood Road in Belmar. I have a couple things. I hope that if I'm not in the right spot here, could you correct me? One of my questions is about parking around the lake. Would that be now? Yes?
Yes, that's on the resolution. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Parking around the lake when people are going to pick up from camp, will they then be charged to have to park around the lake then?
Wrong lake.
Wrong lake?
Yeah, no, well, it's gonna be the angle parking on Silver Lake, just the angle spot. So
Oh,
there
I
is free parking on the other side of the street. So, yeah, it's gonna be the angle parking around Silver Lake and then Lake Como on the south side of the street up to B Street.
Oh, okay, I see. And my other question is on resolution 2021-73 and regarding the first aid. As I see, we're navigating a new first aid system here. I was curious if our taxes will be going up due to that.
I don't believe so. I'd have to talk with her CFO, but I think she has the amount of money we need for startup.
And do we know how much money we need for startup at this time?
I think we just read it off. I think it's somewhere around $200,000. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, that is all I have at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no more hands.
Can I have a
The only
motion?
thing we have to do is we have to change resolution 2170. You want to do that now, April?
Yep, but can I first get a motion to close the public hearing?
Oh, sorry.
Second,
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 all in favor?
Aye.
And then can I get a motion to amend resolution 2021-70, adding the east side of Ocean Avenue parking time?
We're basically changing it to, from what we have now to 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's going to be clearly marked on all these spaces. So we don't have that problem like we had last year.
Can I have a motion to amend that resolution
motion,
in a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And then can I have a motion to adopt the resolutions on the consent agenda as amended?
Motion.
second,
Second.
Okay, Councilman Juan,
yes,
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes.
Next, we have first reading and introduction on ordinance 2021-3. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 5, Department of Public Safety. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Juan,
yes,
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes,
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes.
Next is ordinance 2021-4. This is an ordinance amending traffic chapter 19 regarding snow removal. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading?
motion,
Second.
Councilwoman Juan,
yes,
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes.
And then ordinance 2021-5, an ordinance amending chapter 19, creating various parking amendments. We have a motion to offer for first reading.
Motion.
second,
Councilman Juan,
yes,
Councilman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes,
and Mayor Walsifer.
Yes. Okay. Public session.
Before we get into that, I did have one question that was emailed in. I just want to put it on the record. Anita Pecorelli, 104 First Avenue, emailed a question, when will the library open? The governor allowed libraries to open a while back. I believe that question was answered during the workshop, but I just wanted to put that on the record.
You.
And please remember to state your name and address before you speak.
Okay, looking at the list. Go Cyrus.
How's it going?
Go
Hi,
ahead.
Si.
How you doing? I just had, I tried to raise.
Just give you your name and address. I know where you
Yeah,
live, but just.
Cyrus
put it on
Reitmeyer, Cyrus Reitmeyer, 405th Ave, Belmar.
Okay, go ahead.
The question I have is that the parking thing down on Silver Lake, I tried to raise my hand when that ordinance went up, but you closed it out before I could, I guess, get acknowledged. But in any event, my concern is the fact that I understand you're doing it because of the pop-ups and it could be additional revenue for the town. But living on Fifth Avenue and going down Fifth Avenue quite a bit, as you know, Mark, on the bicycle, there's people that park in those diagonal spots that are theoretically residents of the town. They live in the condominiums, they live in the apartment buildings that are adjacent to the street. So it couldn't it be contemplated to maybe give them a resident sticker or something like that, because it's going to be a nightmare for them. And whether they rent or they own, they still deserve a place to park. And I'm sure that the condominiums and apartment buildings only allow for a spot per unit. So how are we going to solve that
Well,
problem?
we were conscious of that. And since the other side of the street is free and you know how parking is in the summer anyway, we felt that it's just like the east side of Ocean Avenue. The other side of the street is free. And so we were taking a look at it and said
And
that.
it's free because of the residents that live on that.
Right.
Because it would be a horror show to tell people they can't park their car in front of the house.
Right.
But this is
And
a kind of
on the other side of the street, we took a look at all the parking lots and all those condos. And the parking that they have on the east side of the street. Now, in the summertime, parking is horrendous anywhere. So, if they could get one of those spots, God bless them. But, it's like me, I live on Ocean Avenue. I can never park on either side of the street all summer long. So,
I guess the point I'm making is that if a person, and let's assume that there's two people that live in every household and they've got two cars, and the apartment complex or the condominium complex allows one car in their parking lot, because they all park across the street. I mean, the electrical company that lives in one of those apartments, I mean, that truck is there all the time, and I don't care. I mean, but what I'm saying is that, are they going to now be subject to paying to park there if they live in that apartment building or condominium building?
Well, I know change is always tough, but if we have that problem and that person or somebody comes in, we could try to work with them.
I mean, I think that, my mom lives in Williamsburg, Virginia, and, they have little parking passes. And if you live in town and you can justify the fact that you live in town, they give you a parking pass and you put it on your window. Anybody else on her street, they get a ticket. And I'm just throwing that out there as a potential idea, because I think, if they're residents in town, whether they rent or whether they own, they're still a resident in the town. They still support the community. And I think that trying to do something, to avoid pop-ups and people that don't live in town and penalize the people that do live in town really is kind of unfair. That's it. It doesn't affect my life one way or the other. I mean, I can fit 4 cars in my driveway, so it doesn't affect my life one way or the other. But, the idea is, I just think it's unfair for those people. That's it.
Okay.
I appreciate the year. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. And coming to Linda.
Linda Sharkus, 4th Avenue.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, everybody. Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
I'm good. I'd like to comment on the last council meeting. It was pretty disappointing to me to see what went on. It seems that respect's been lost. Those of you on the council leading our team were elected as a result of more than half the voters, the people who voted in town, selecting you. If people here in the audience didn't vote, shame on them. And if they voted and their candidate didn't win, maybe next election things will work out. And why do I bring this up? My vision of Belmar is we're the cheers of the Jersey Shore. Everyone knows your name. We share ideas and don't condemn or criticize. So I want to remind people that these meetings are recorded in our public record. And if you spoke to a boss, as some of the people did at last meeting, you'd be fired. We are all entitled to opinions and have the right to express them. But remember, when you speak disparagingly to someone or about someone, you may be speaking to someone's relative, neighbor, or their friend. I implore you, with the election looming, that we remember kindness and respect. Speak about the issues, suggest solutions. With less than 6,000 year-round residents, let's work to get along together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. All right, coming to Nancy, stand by.
Yes, hi, Nancy DiLorenzo, 206 17th Avenue. So I just had a question. I recall back in October, there was some revisions to the Animal House law, and I'm not really sure I understand how anything is going to be different. Like what did the edits do to kind of help us as homeowners to live a little bit more civil life this summer?
Well, there's a lot more restrictions, but I'll let our business administrator explain. a little bit more in detail, or maybe Mr. Dasty could do it. Just got on mute there, Jared.
Yeah, got it. Mayor, I'm sorry, I don't have the Animal House ordinance in front of me. We adopted it 5 or 6 months ago. Nancy, if you would give April Claudio your email and phone number, I'll be glad to call you tomorrow when I have it in front of me and go over the whole thing with you.
Great, thank you.
Sure, just give it to April, she'll give it to me, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. And Eric, one moment.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Eric, where'd you go? Stand by. Sorry. Eric, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Eric Kraus, President of Friends of Belmar Harbor. So I guess that's L Street. Just want to let everybody know that Barry, you got some challenges this year. And you're going to do a great job with them. We are here to help you and the Belmar community, as we always have been. We just want to remind you that we give 1 week at no cost, which costs us tens of thousands of dollars for your 75 students. And if you need 2 weeks, the board is willing to give you 2 weeks because we want smaller groups. We need to get these kids out in a safe environment. New Jersey Health Department lists the type of sailing we do, where we put 1 kid on a boat as the lowest risk sport there is. So we have a special opportunity. It's going to be a special summer. We know how to do it right. We have U.S. Sailing certified instructors. We are a part of U.S. Sailing, which, for you, if you don't know, that's a national organization for sailing. They have the Olympic teams. So we are qualified. We know how to do it right. We'll be working with Ed and you, and we are here to help you guys make it work and make this a real special summer. And we'll work out the details in the coming weeks. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much, Eric. All righty, coming to Paul, stand by.
Good evening, Paul Olnick, 1406 16th Avenue. I just wanted to thank Barry and Ryan, particularly for coming to this meeting, with a plan to roll out summer recreation options for the kids in Belmar. We parents certainly all appreciate that. My one question is if there is a time frame or a specific date in mind by which the undetermined components of the plan would be finalized, particularly the times of camp and any like rain date contingency plans.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully soon. I know I can't give it like an exact date, but I have been in contact with Mr. Kirschenbaum and the mayor, and we discuss that frequently about how we can make safely run the camp and the length of time and the contingency for where if it does rain. Like I said, hopefully we can make a decision soon and and move forward. We are still we still have time for registration and all that, so we will definitely have a decision before that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You. All right, back to the top. Mr. Gerald, sir. Mr. Gerald, you there? Okay. All right, come back around if you have to. Sherry, coming to you.
Hello,
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Sherry Russo, 1218 Briarwood Road in Belmar. I have a couple questions and also a couple comments. First, I would like to say congratulations to the police officers who are new. That is absolutely wonderful. One of my questions is that I would like to know what's happening with the beach lockers. I believe that normally we would have heard by now. And I know there was a lot of speculation on Facebook, but I wanted to go to the source here.
We have switched online programs to run the beach lockers through. We are finalizing that, and the emails will be going out later this month.
All right, so there's nothing for me to do as of now with it yet. I'm not behind.
No.
Okay, perfect. Another question I have is to the mayor, when Pat Wan said that I was at the wrong lake in regards to the camp, is Taylor Pavilion not in front of the lake we're talking about?
She must have
Sorry,
misunderstood you. She
Excuse me,
oh, go
You
ahead.
misunderstood me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you, but they are both on 2 lakes now. We didn't have it last year on Lake Como. but We do now. Sorry about that.
Okay, just making sure. I wasn't sure if there was something I was missing. And I wanted to say a couple comments here. One of them is I find it very sad that, we have $200,000 to start our first aid of a new first aid. However, last year, we made demands on the old first aid before we were willing to give up $70,000. Obviously there's a price difference between $70,000 and $200,000. And I just find that to be a sad situation. And I find that very unfortunate. Another thing I feel is that I know when we keep talking about camp, everybody keeps mentioning, how things were last year and how serious they were. This isn't last year. This is a new year and things are opening up and things are much better than they were last year between vaccines, between many less people dying than they used to. And I feel that, that is a situation. Other thing I said I wanted to ask is if you have thought about how you're going to manage traffic with the parents drop off, and if it's going to take a little bit longer to check in down the beach, is there going to be a backup with traffic and parking while the children are being dropped off?
We have that worked out. There's going to be different times for different groups to be dropped off. So there should only be 10 getting dropped off at different times. I'll let our recreation director speak on that, but he has that worked out.
I know, Sheriff. You hear me all right?
Just got to go off of mute, Bear.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Sherry. How you doing? So the way we're working it out, we're going to have drop-offs, at least three to four drop-offs staggered at 15-minute intervals. And we're trying to work out 4 different locations, which are close proximity to Taylor Pavilion for drop-offs. With us having a smaller group than we have in the past, traffic-wise, I don't think it should be a problem. In the past, we really didn't have many issues with traffic. I know sometimes with pickup, I know with the summer months, later in the summer months, we ran into a little bit, but hopefully we can work that out. And if not, I would seek advice from the police department, the chief of police, about how we can do it better.
All right, thank you, Barry, for that. And one other thing I just wanted to mention is, I got in the mail today my Parks and Programs Guide for the Monmouth County Park System. So obviously, they had planned ahead far in advance, and I just wish that Belmar had too. I think it could have avoided a lot of issues and situations had that happened. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Jay, we're gonna try you again.
Hi, I'm here. Little
There you are.
technical difficulties there
Go
before.
ahead, sir.
Just a few comments. I wanted to say something on 2021-04 ordinance. I mean, I know it's on for next week in a second reading, but I'd just like to offer a few suggestions. You can take it or leave it, whatever. But one of the things that struck me when I read it is, well, I don't know what streets that would apply to. And would it be clearer if the streets that had the, what I'll call alternate side of the street plowing, if they were designated? Because
Todd
how
Neben.
how will individuals know if they're on a street that, you know, paragraph 2 pertains to?
Well, we set it up for odd and even sides of the street, so that should take care of every street.
Oh, so then it's going to be that way for every street in the borough?
Every street in the borough, yes.
Okay, because the way it reads, it just says if there is insufficient driveway space or insufficient space in other off-street parking areas. So I read it to be that only if there's insufficient space will this take place. Then I would suggest that it be maybe tailored to say that all streets will have alternate side of the street parking when plowing. It just seems a little ambiguous to me. The other thing that I always find a little interesting too is when will we know that the streets have been plowed sufficiently? Because the streets on my street, they'll come up, you know, especially if it's still snowing. You know, sometimes I'll think it's plowed sufficiently, and before you know it, another truck comes up and plows it again. So when, you know, maybe somebody can think of a way to let the townspeople know, well, the streets have been plowed sufficiently, because I think that's a little gray area there that might that just might need to be worked out. But you know, the way I read it too, though, I didn't think that it was applying to all streets. But if that's what it was supposed to mean, then I stand corrected. The second thing is about the budget. Last year, I had asked that there be budget presentations made before the introduction of the budget. And I'm going to ask that again this year, that I think it's very important for the residents to understand what's in the budget. And by that, I mean that, you know, the town professionals, either in a work session or in a special meeting, take the time to explain what the various aspects of the budget mean, rather than just giving us the skeleton of all the numbers. So I'm going to request that again, that before the budget be introduced, perhaps there could be 1 or 2 meetings on the various aspects of the budget to give us an idea of, you know, where we're going. And the last thing, I'm not sure if this was done or not, but I know the disabled badge issue was resolved. They're paying $30. I don't know that I've seen the ordinance being changed. So I think somebody should look into that, because I think the way it reads now is that that section was taken out, and just to cover all our bases and, you know, dot our i's and cross our t's, I think that that ordinance might have to be amended again to put that back in. Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you. And then coming to you, thank you for your patience, everybody. Go ahead, one moment. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, thank you.
Yes, name and address, please.
Hi, this is Seema Bowl, 112 Inlet Terrace.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to start off with saying thank you to Barry and Ryan for taking so much time to think through their proposal. I think it was clear to all of us up until the last meeting, this administration had not put much effort or thought into our children or their residents at hand. But you did hear us, and I commend you for listening and taking our interests to heart and coming back with a well thought out plan. I know there are a lot of details to still work out, and I just wanted to reiterate that we're all here to work with you. I know, Ed, we have a meeting with you tomorrow to follow up from today and the plan that was discussed, and we are very interested in working through all the details with you. We all also discussed that we're here for the long run. You talked a little bit about how it's important to have the next generation of parents who are interested. We really represent that next generation. Our children are just coming of age for these programs, and we want to make sure these programs are around to stay for our kids. So please, when you say there's no volunteers, just make sure you're listening to all the people who are raising their hands, because I've heard a few stories of people who have raised their hands but haven't been contacted back. And unfortunately, this is a vicious cycle. So you say there's not enough demand, but If these programs aren't offered in a timely fashion, what happens is we go to the other programs in other towns, start embedding ourselves, and our children become part of the fabric of those teams and no longer find interest in the Belmar programs. So it's not that the demand or interest isn't there to begin with. It's just that the programs really aren't being provided in a timely manner. But again, I'm really excited about what you've presented today and the opportunity for all of us to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Maria, coming to you.
Hi, this is Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way.
Go ahead, Maria.
I just wanted to also thank Barry and Ryan, the rec staff, and Eric Kraus. That was really generous for all your hard work. And we're really pleased that the kids will have camp activities and Belmar Junior Guards. I just wanted to let you know our pushback wasn't from COVID fatigue as suggested. It's to safely adapt to our new normal. We have to work together. And I wanted to touch upon using the Taylor Pavilion. It was reconstructed after Sandy to house community events and children's activities. And of course, yes, to have weddings and events, but it's a community building and it needs to be used for the community. I know this past year has been hard on all of us. I would like to suggest retaining the Taylor Pavilion for use for beach camp. I think mostly outside, but for cooling times, the Taylor Pavilion would be a wonderful, if we're talking about cohorts of 10 kids or 10 kids, having 10 kids come in for an hour to cool off, be distanced, be masked, seems very reasonable to me to have that as a resource for us. It's the nicest place to be in town and our kids deserve that. So please consider using the Taylor Pavilion. It would mean so much to our community to see our kids getting to use that facility, which we all work so hard for and paid for. And for rain, some of us may choose to have our children stay home. That can be an option. This is just a suggestion. For me, that would be an option. But even if we have 30 campers who can't stay home because their parents work full time or they're working at the grocery store, essential workers aren't able to get sitting at that time, they can be distanced or even split up between the Taylor Pavilion and the municipal gym. We're not talking about a lot of kids here. We're talking about a small amount. We're just looking for flexibility. And I'm wondering if there's plans for private events at the pavilion this year.
Not that I'm aware of, but Barry, if you could answer that, because we've been working on plans for a while, but I know that that has been coming into discussion as long as it can be done safely. So that's part of your plan, I know, but
Yeah, oops, sorry. You guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So we've been working with the plan to hopefully, with rain to have the kids inside. In the past, that's pre-COVID, that's never been an issue. Anytime it's rain, we've been inside the building, showing movies, doing games. This year, with the groups, yes, we would have to keep the groups separated. And if we can, that's something that we will do. As far as private events, I don't handle the private events. I think that goes through either with tourism or merrymakers. I don't have anything to do with the private events that are run there. But going back to summer camp, yes, we're working on it, and hopefully, we come up with a plan. If it does rain, we can move inside. But like I said, we'll finalize that shortly, hopefully.
Great. And
Barry, Maria, hold on one second. Barry, I have a question.
Yep.
There's people that are saying that the programs have been diminished. You've been recreation director since I've been here. I know you compiled a list of all the things. Has any program been diminished in the past few years? The only reason why it has stopped is COVID. I know you have a chart there. We've actually added programs since 2019, correct?
Yes, we've added a few programs. Our open gym program, which runs after school from September to June, which is the parents for the kids that are in 3rd grade or 5th grade. That is a huge hit. I think the parents look forward to it more than the kids sometimes. And also, we started a baseball clinic program after school in March to get the kids ready for the upcoming baseball season. I think I know we're trying to work out to get back the exercise classes back. That was run through the library, and then when the community center closed with the church taking it back, we're scrambling to find a place to do it. And then there was other issues that came up regarding the legality of it and all that. But I know Ed can touch on that.
I just want to be clear that we've been working with the Recreation Department since 19. We're making sure that we have our programs in place. And we've continued to screen the guidelines for COVID. That's the only reason why we stopped programs last year. And we're consistent with the other towns that you've contacted in regards to primary camp outdoors and the utilization of indoors under special circumstances following the COVID guidelines. So there's some misinformation out there. I want to make sure that we make it clear.
Yeah, although I know a lot of the towns that I reached out to, a lot of them are still in their planning mode. They still haven't made a decision yet on what they're doing with their summer camp. I know the 4 towns, Manasquan, Wall, Neptune, and Seagirt are all moving forward with plans of having summer camp only going half day, 3 hours a day, except for Wall, which is planning a full day. But their camps are strictly outside, and if it does rain, it's canceled for the day. Like I said, we're trying to work out so we can not have to do that, but also do it in a manner where it's safe, keeping our staff safe, and especially our children. That's our main focus.
Thank you, Barry. Ed, I wanted, maybe about private events at the Taylor Pavilion, because I know you have that bid out for the Merrymakers lease, and you probably, I think it closed on the 24th of February, so you should have some in now.
Well, it's a separate bid. Bid is for the concession, not for the utilization of the banquet hall. And we have no events planned. We're checking into that. I got notified this week that there might be a couple in April and May. We're checking into that they're complying with the guidelines the state and the governor put out. So we're looking into all that.
Wonderful. I would just request that we put our community first, then a private organization or anything for that Taylor Pavilion, so that
we always put them first as long as we can do it safely.
Great. And then I had the safety part. I just read an article from the Harvard School of Public Health about ventilation being key to reopening schools in New York City. Even like a window open can make a 3% contamination from exhalation drops to nearly nothing. I mean, we're talking about a beachside huge room banquet hall with a normal capacity of 200 people. We could safely use it for a few of our community's children who are so used to using masks. And my last question is, now that you are able to do more on the beach, and I am so excited to hear about kickball. That sounds really fun, Barry. What about movies on the beach? Because we do have, I know that beach utility, we did have some funds still in that. Can we bring that back this year? Can we have your word to bring that back?
Ed, go ahead.
All right, just so everybody knows about movies on the beach, we had it planned for 2019 until the screen broke. We didn't have the funds at that time to do so. We're trying to secure funds. We're interested in having movies back on the beach again, as long as we can get the proper equipment down there. So we're moving forward. We're looking at all our funding to make sure that we can try to make that happen. And of course, again, everything is got to be contingent on what the governor does with COVID.
Right. Well, we're certainly counting on that. I know our community has been really desperate for it. And if you can make it happen, please do. And then my last question is, will the Surfers Healing still happen?
Not that I'm aware of. I have no idea. Okay.
So I know our contact for that was our director of the EMS, our first aid squad. I really hope and encourage if anyone can reach out to that group. That is something so super special that we have been able to have and house in Belmar. It's a source of pride for myself, and I know for the rest of the town. Thank you.
Thank you. And one moment. Giving everyone a turn. Beth, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This was a very interesting meeting, and I thank you all for your dedication. I just have a few questions on,
State your name and address.
I'm sorry, I'm Beth Monet, and it's 308 12th Avenue, Belmar, New Jersey. And I just had a question about the timeframe for the review of the proposals for the sailing and the surf camps to be open.
For the sailing and this, I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
You said that there is a proposals that they submitted and that the town would be reviewing the proposals, whether or not they can open the sailing
Yeah.
camp and the surf camp. So I was just wondering if you have a time frame for when that would be done, because I know the sailing camp was going to wait until tonight's meeting before they close their registrations, because they do get a lot of people registering. So I was just wondering if
Well, we have
they
to-
had to wait.
We're looking at the proposals and talking to the individuals that run both of them. So there's no time frame. We're gonna work on them as soon as we can get the details worked out.
Okay.
We're not gonna rush, we're not gonna rush anything. We want to make everybody safe.
Okay. Because those are the only camps I believe that non-town residents can apply for. Is that correct? Because I have my grandchildren coming down in the summer, even though they don't live there, but I am down for the summer, and I would like them to be able to attend if possible. So I don't want them to be closed out. So I'll just make sure I stay on top of it.
Yeah, we're gonna work as quickly as we can.
Thank you so much. My
Thank
second
you.
question is just about badges. I did buy badges online, and I'm not sure when and how they'll be available to be picked up.
If you had purchased them online, you can pick them up anytime at Borough Hall between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. or at Taylor Pavilion a week before the beach opens.
Okay, thank you. And that was really about it. I just have one other comment about the light on 12th Avenue. I don't know if that's ever been looked at, but the light is like so short. It must be like a 5-second light. You get down there and you just barely get through it, and it changes to red. And I was just wondering if anyone was ever aware of that or made mention of that prior to that. But sometimes you have to like speed up just so you can get through it. And
Don't
then
speed
by
up
the
and
time
do
you get
that.
through it, you look in your rear view and it's already red again. So I
We'll
just
talk
wanted
to-
to mention that.
We'll talk to the chief.
We had
Okay.
complaints that had complaints that the light is too long. So we'll have to check into that. I'll tell the chief to get somebody down to time it.
Okay, if you're on 12th Avenue, it's very short. If you're on Main Street, it's very long. But if you're coming down 12th Avenue, it's extremely short. But thank you again for all your help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Mr. Kramer, coming to you. Go ahead, sir.
Eugene Kramer, 4th Avenue.
Hi, Mr. Kramer.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to voice my support for the paid angle parking down along the beachfront. And, well, as you know, I'm a proponent of making parking paid everywhere. Unless, of course, maybe if you drive an electric vehicle, then perhaps that would be a good idea. Anyhow, also along the beachfront, we have angled parking up at Schroeder Park. And I don't think very many residents, of course, they're going to say they use it, but I park there a couple of times a week. And that's also utilized, to access the beach. I thought it might be a good idea to take a look at putting paid parking up there also, up here on the north end.
Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And coming to Brett.
Hello.
Name and address, please.
Brett Lomas, 609 9th Ave.
Go ahead.
First, I'd like to voice my support for the alternate side. That's a great idea for the snowstorms. Just one comment is, something to think about for DPW when they're plowing. If they plow towards the side with the parked cars, they're going to plow those cars in. So I would suggest that they plow to the side that nobody is parked, plow to the even or odd side until the snow ends.
Hopefully that's the plan.
Yeah, right. Next, I also am really happy that camp is back on, and I'd also like to say thank you to Barry and everybody that made that happen. The rec department, since Barry has taken over, has really started to blossom, and hopefully now that we can move past this COVID and start really getting all the programs back up and running as we make progress on that front. I missed the beginning of the meeting. I just want to confirm that is Junior Guards back on also?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then the last thing I have is, and I've mentioned this before, and I know that it is I believe it's either a state or a county responsibility, but I wanted to see if there was any progress with the walk signals on Main Street north of 8th Avenue. I believe that there's still not any walk signals for all those intersections.
They are approved. We're just waiting for them to be scheduled. So we're hopefully before summer, but they did approve them, and we're just waiting for the state DOT to install them.
Great. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Great. Going to John.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Name and address, please.
Yes, John Walsh, 11th and B. I wasn't really going to speak, but I feel like some of the parents that spoke last week, they did bring up events and town fun disappearing prior to COVID. I mean, I just talked to my mom. We have movies on the beach, which that's a bigger issue than we can get into. Friday night music that was run by the Belmar Better Business Bureau. It now is, used to be run by the town. Yoga, library activities. There was a Chinese New Year event that was really big in 2019. It was nothing in 2020. We were able to squeeze that in. I'm not done yet. I'm sorry. The Winter Festival, we had a Thanksgiving, like right by Thanksgiving, shop local. That got canceled. Races on the beach on Ocean Avenue, the Belmar Soul, that wasn't in 2019 either. Music at Taylor Pavilion, where they had square dancing for our seniors, that was cut way before COVID. And then the Fall Festival that we used to have in October. So these events really did disappear before COVID. So I would just hate, you keep saying false information, fake news, quote unquote, and it's just not true.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And Linda Sharkus, stand by.
Linda Sharkus, 4th Avenue. Clarification on the alternate side of the street parking during snow. That's not in lieu of off-street parking. That's only if you have, because I didn't read the ordinance. I did recognize, appreciate the value of the alternate side of the street parking, but I don't want people to think that, oh, I don't have to move my car if I park on one side when they have, their 100-foot driveway.
Yes,
So far.
hopefully everybody realizes that if you have a driveway, we do suggest that you park in your driveway, but for the people that don't, the alternate side hopefully will help.
Well, I think as a reminder, when Code Red announcements go out, it should be the reminder, please move in your driveway. Otherwise, even and then odd.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
you guys did a great job tonight.
Oh, thanks, Linda.
Thank you. And Cyrus, coming to you.
Hi, just two quick questions. Cy Reitmeyer, 405th Ave, Belmar, New Jersey.
Hi, Cy.
Hi, a quick question about, the budget coming up. I know that the town had assembled a committee of, what was it, Citizens Financial Committee or something along that line?
Yes.
How much input have they had in the actual budget, number one?
Well, they haven't taken a look at it yet because the professionals are still working on getting it all together, and then they'll go over it.
Okay, and is there a chance that when that's presented, to the council and to the community, that the CFO could be there in case there's any questions in the public session for it?
Yes, we're hoping we can do that.
Okay. And as disappointing as the St. Patty's Day parade cancellation was, I have been asked questions about the Seafood Fest. Have you given any consideration to whether that's gonna happen, not gonna happen? And if it's not gonna happen, I think you should get the word on the street.
Yeah, probably by next meeting, we'll be making a decision. We're trying to see if the governor was gonna lighten anything up. But it's the same as the parade, trying to invite all these people in, and we just don't want to run any super spreader events. So it's not looking good right now, but we haven't made a cancellation on it because we're talking about maybe postponing it to the fall or doing something like that. So that was different than the St. Patty's Day parade because St. Patty's Day parade was always in March. We couldn't move that. Where there was discussion to move it to September to halfway to St. Patty's Day. But what it is the committee's already in motion the day after the parade for the next year's parade. So, we're still looking at everything. We're trying to see where this pandemic is going. So we'll be making, we might not cancel it, we might move it. So it's discussions between, the whole team.
Okay. And then the final question is that, there was a person before was asking some questions about the Taylor Pavilion. And I understand that Merrymakers gave up the concession, but do they still have a role in the actual Taylor Pavilion from a catering standpoint?
They are on the list for the catering.
Okay,
they're
now
still on the list.
All right, now I mentioned, or I heard before that Ed mentioned that he doesn't know if any private events have been booked. So that means we have no deposits for the Taylor Pavilion? I mean, having been, in the business.
Well, we had canceled everything. So sitting up here right now, I can't tell you yes or no. We're gonna have to check. I'm not sure if Merrymakers had booked any. They had things that were postponed and they rebooked them, and then they gave up the concession. And the only thing that we're bidding out is the concession part of it. Has nothing to do with Taylor Pavilion. Even the new people coming in would have to fill out all the forms to use the Taylor Pavilion. So we're not sure. Sitting here right now, I'd have to check to see if anything got booked. But all the guidelines, and if they do book something, they have to sanitize the whole building. So,
but it's also limited, I think, by the restrictions that. You can have an event that's greater than 50 people. Ed, can you confirm that?
Yeah, it's whatever yeah. I mean,
so the idea is that, if you can book the Taylor Pavilion out for 50 or less, that's income to the town, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys, appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Si. All right, you too.
Thank you. And Sherry, coming to you.
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes.
Sherry Russo, 1218 Briarwood Road. I have a follow-up question to April. My question is, in talking about the beach lockers on the online programs, is that still going to have an option like the beach badges where you can come into Borough Hall to pay for your beach locker? Is it only going to be online?
No, you still pay by cash or check by coming to Borough Hall.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. That was my only question. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you. Come to Lauren.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Name and address, please.
Hi, Lauren Stout, 419 6th Avenue.
Go ahead.
I just have two annual event related questions. Do we intend to run the annual Easter egg hunt for the children this year? And what are the plans for the Belmar 5K this year or 5 mile?
The 5K, I believe, is, they have booked a date around Labor Day. But it's a tentative date. They had to pick a date, so they pushed it out to the end of the summer. So because nobody knows where the pandemic is going to be then. So, but tentatively, the 5 mile run is going to be either the Saturday or I think Monday of maybe actually right on Labor Day.
As far as the Easter egg, that's still, we're holding off on that. If that doesn't occur, and we're going to still do what we did last year, working with Chief Scott, the Police Department and Department of Public Works with the ride through town with the Easter Bunny.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. On the internet.
Did you call me Antoinette?
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't hear. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you're up. Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
Your name and address, please.
I'm sorry, John. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Anthony, I hear you. Name and
Okay,
address.
I
and go.
apologize. Okay. I guess on behalf of all the moms, thank you for.
Name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Antoinette Rossi, 309 3rd Avenue. I wanted to also ask about, I sent an email a couple weeks ago to everybody and I haven't heard back. What did we consider open gym and youth club? So I don't know if anybody's brought that up, but I haven't heard an answer on that.
Barry, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Anthony, how you doing?
Hi, Barry.
Unfortunately, with the gym still being closed, open gym we can't do. Maybe as the weather gets warmer, we can maybe move it outside to one of the parks and and utilize that.
But Barry, you know that I think you're amazing and I appreciate everything you've done for this town. And, you know, my family loves you. We all, you know, are so happy with you, Barry. But I don't know that that is something that is directed to you. I think it's more directed to council and mayor, because if we do it in very small groups, because this is what I proposed, Mark and myself, when we sent the letter, can't we still do that? If we did it in small groups and used the gym every day?
Well, I know you're directing it to the mayor and the council, but we don't run these things. The recreation director does with his team, and
Oh, so he has free rein to do it?
I told him that as long as he follows the guidelines and we could do it safely, that's what starts to open up. So it's with our recreation director. If he gives us the direction that he thinks that he could do it and he could do it safely, then it would happen. And he's following the guidelines very closely.
Also, one of the other problems, Antoinette, is that the gym is connected to the municipal complex. So we have to be careful what we do with our own employees and the people in our lobbies. So we're trying to work through all the executive orders. We would love to open that gym. We would love to get it moving. That's why we've started in September, October to get those outside courts recreation program painted and the new backboards so we can start our recreation programs outside because of the restrictions on the inside of the gym. So if you've watched some of the high school sports, some of the schools have closed down in basketball programs. I know Manasquan and St. Rose had a problem with basketball inside of a gym that they had closed down for 2 weeks. So we still take that seriously. So when we can move forward, we will.
I understand. Safety is the first priority. Did we figure out what we're going to do with the funds that we collected from the mayor's ball?
Well, that's something that we'll discuss with the committee, not here.
Okay. Okay, last session, you said that you were looking for suggestions, and I've given a couple.
Well, you could
suggestions, and I-
suggest them to the committee, because that's what we have a committee for. So whatever suggestions you put them out to the whole committee, and we'll see,
But
we take a
we
look at.
haven't had a committee meeting yet, or, okay, so that is
No,
something
you
that's
do it
going
through
to-
email. Do it through email.
Okay, okay, I just think the public wanted to know as well, so, okay. Then I don't have any more questions, thank you.
Thank you. And Carrie, stand by.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Name and address, please.
My name is Karen McNally, 506 9th Avenue. My question is also in regards to funding. I know a lot of moms in this town, Antoinette especially, has done a lot of work with the mayor's ball, the mayor's children's ball, all that stuff to raise money. I'm in receipt of, the actual flyer that went out. And it says specifically on there, all funds raised are for Belmar youth programs. Clearly, the September 2019 Mayor's Ball, all those funds that were raised weren't all spent because everything stopped in March. I want to
Right,
know
we
if
still
those
have
funds
the
will
money.
carry over till
Yes.
next year, considering that we do not have any fundraisers for this year.
Yes, they're still in reserve, and we're just figuring out what we're gonna spend them on.
But this is my problem. Like, are they going to be spent on the youth programs? Because when you donate or you pay for a ticket to go to something, or a business donates something and they think they're donating to a specific cause, that's where the money should go. It shouldn't be spent anywhere else. When I buy Girl Scout cookies, I don't buy Girl Scout cookies to support a golf program. I buy Girl Scout cookies to support the Girl Scouts. So that money should be spent on Belmar youth programs. And if we didn't use it this year, we haven't used it since last March, that money should roll over to our Belmar youth program for next year. I just want to know if that's where the money is going to be spent for our
Yes,
youth programs
absolutely.
for next year.
That's exactly what the money is gonna be spent on.
100% confidence that's what you're saying. The money
Yes.
is only going to be spent on the Belmar youth program.
It's gonna be spent on recreation for the youth of Belmar. Yes,
It won't be spent anywhere else but Belmar youth.
yes. And I got a committee together we put out suggestions, and when the committee comes together, know what to be spent, let it be spent on. That's what we'll all come to that conclusion of what it's gonna be used for.
I just want to make sure and like 100%.
I don't know how many times I could tell you,
that
it's sitting in
100%
reserve.
going to be spent on Belmar youth, because people who donated or bought tickets or businesses that donated for a specific cause. I just want to make sure that that money is directed back to what they thought they were donating to, and it goes to our kids.
It is sitting in reserve, and that's exactly what it's gonna be used for.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Maria, coming to you.
Thank you. Maria Rontanaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. I just have a quick question, but it's a meaningful one. What can we do to get residents vaccine appointments? I know individually, many of us are helping our neighbors, but we need we need more help, and it'd be great to get some municipal help in actually getting shots in our residents' arms.
Business administrator, you have any knowledge of that?
I've countless times got in touch with the Monmouth County Commissioners. We've dealt with some of the urgent care places within Wall Township and Ocean Township, trying to get somebody to come to our senior citizens complex. So we're working diligently on trying to get that done. We don't control the shots. The state does and the counties do. So anytime that we can get into that program, we're trying, every single day we try. And I know that Monmouth County actually last week ran out of shots. So as they become available, we're trying to get on the ground floor again to get our people taken care of.
Is there anything that we can run as far as municipal wise, not, and I appreciate setting up, having you look to set up actual places that people can go for it, like in Neptune that we were invited to that. I appreciate that. I know a lot of towns, Asbury, Neptune, are working with their, the county, and also with like OHI to get those vaccines. I'm actually wondering if we could do more of helping people call or get online and actually make those appointments for them.
We do post on our social media, and if anybody has a problem, they can call us and we can direct them what they have to do.
Yeah, I suppose I was just looking for a little bit more. Maybe I'll just continue to work with on a citizen level on our Facebook groups and see if we can help each other, because I know that's happening. If there's any way that anyone at the municipal level would like to be involved in that, please let us know.
What we can
Any
do is set up
community
a,
policing we have too. Maybe we can tie in something with community policing with block captains or or whatnot, if people want to get in touch with people to get them help in signing on, because I'm telling you, unless you are so tech savvy, you are not going to get the shot. You're not going
we
to
have, I don't know why I have feedback, but we have helped residents sign on. We've given them direction on how to do so. And if anybody has a problem, they can call us and we'll see exactly what we can do to help them out through the Office of Emergency Management and through our employees of town.
Okay, thank you.
I neglected to mention this in my report, but the residents at the Housing Authority have been vaccinated. A VNA program came in and vaccinated all the residents of the Housing Authority. Agreed to get vaccinated with the exception of 3. So, we were very proactive in working on developing a program for those seniors to get vaccinated. It worked out well. As you know, this is something that's very important to me. This is something that we brought up at council meetings in the past. And Ed, I know I've gotten feedback from other residents in town that, the borough staff, no matter who it is, has been helpful in assisting residents in scheduling online appointments or, helping them navigate the phone system, which the governor put in place because, so many people were having difficulty with that electronic system. And, help your neighbor. If your neighbor needs help, needs a ride, something like that, please be there for them. And also, I reached out to Freeholder Arnone, which I also reported at a previous meeting, to see if we could get a clinic here at Belmar. He knows it's a priority for us. The county is unable to do that right now. They're only able to do a vaccination site at Brookdale College the last time I spoke to him. But he knows we want something here in town, and that's very important to the council.
Okay, now going to the next person. Stand by. Sharon. State your name and address. You there?
Yes, good evening. Sharon Fowler, 11th Avenue. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sharon.
Just a couple of comments. I know Councilman McCracken mentioned about the seniors in the senior building getting the COVID shot, but I also want to remind everyone that we have lots of independent seniors that are living at home that are not in the senior complex and may not have access to computers, as Maria was mentioning before. There are a couple of websites. I know I shouldn't be endorsing any websites, but if you check online, there's a Facebook group that works primarily with just New Jersey residents. And they've been very helpful. They have over 90,000 members. So, if someone wants to contact me, I would give them that information. I don't know if I should, mention it now. But another little topic that I don't know if we can do something about this. I was in the lobby of the Borough Hall yesterday, and it took me about 7 minutes to, unfortunately, I never got through to someone. I was trying to pick up something there at the borough's office. But while I was there were about 600 people that were there for various things. Is there a possibility we could have either a buzzer or something? Because once you get into the lobby, there's no way to get to anyone that's inside the borough. So like there was one girl that was dropping off a job application. There was someone else there that was for a permit. And I said, well, I think it goes in the mail slot. They said, well, if it doesn't go in the mail slot, where does it go? I'm like, I don't know. So I was trying to help, but it was just very frustrating. So I don't know the best way, but I know since the door is locked, that it's very hard to get in touch with people. So if anyone can come up with a better suggestion, I think it'd be great. Otherwise, I'm staying out of the lobby.
I'll take a look at it again. Usually everything's written down in the lobby and there's a phone number, but if they don't have a phone, that can be an issue. So I'll take a look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll stand by. Go ahead.
Okay, Carol Moore, 1206 Oakwood Road. I want to say what Sharon said. Thank you for getting all the seniors in the senior housing vaccinated. That was very important and they should have come first. But also to remember there are loads of us who are 65 and older. Some of us are essential workers and deal with the people at the supermarkets when I check them out. And I have registered on a few sites to get an appointment, but have not been able to as yet. I am tech savvy. I can work the computer. My question I'm asking is if the town finds someplace to have a group vaccination, whatever you want to call it, please post it on Facebook, do a code red, just putting it on the town website doesn't help everybody because we don't check the town website every single day. But Facebook, it would come up as a notification, the code red, I would get it on my phone, immediately. So I'm just, think about the rest of us who are seniors, some with underlying conditions, some who are essential workers, and deal with the public with only their face mask to protect them every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And seeing no more hands.
All right, April,
I have a motion to close the public session and adjourn the meeting.
motion.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you, everybody.